everyone, this is Yoda from Team Evil Geniuses, bringing you this video with Nerdstomper.com. This is going to be an instructional video on lane control, one of the basics of Heroes of New Earth. So, lane control is important because controlling your lane determines basically where the creeps are going to be, and where the creeps are going to be determines where your heroes are going to be, right? Because the heroes want to be near the creeps so they can get last hits, and so they can get experience when the creeps die. So, lane control is extremely important. For instance, here me and my partner, the Puppet Master, have controlled the lanes so that the creeps are going to be fighting pretty close to our tower. That means that when the enemy team tries to kill us, we'll have a very short distance to run. Like, look at how close he is to the tower. So basically, we only have to move like half a screen, and then the tower will basically just decimate anyone who's trying to chase us. So we're relatively safe here. But compared to our opponents, this Torturer will have like 2 screens to run before he can get in range of his tower. Maybe even 3 screens. And that's a really long distance to run, so it means he's not really safe. In addition to that, there's also a lot of angles of attack that can go to him. Like here in the river, someone could come from the river, from here, or even from here or from here. So that's like 4 different angles someone could come at him to get behind him, between him and his tower, which is what results in a successful gank. So basically the aspect of lane control that Puppet and I have employed has basically made us safe and made Torturer extremely vulnerable. So this is what you want to do basically in the laning phase, and also later in the game when you're just farming. You generally want to try to keep the lane close to your tower. So since the lane is so far up, watch as we take advantage of that. So I basically pick any of these like million angles I could go to come to Torturer, and as a result he gets caught, and we are going to pick up a kill here. Even just at level 2, if you're too far up and the lane's controlled, then you will die. So that's why this is the primary reason lane control is important, because it's much safer for you, and like it's much more dangerous for your opponents if they try to lane against you. So just to show you, since before Torturer was like way up here so we could kill him. This is actually earlier in the game, but here I'm going to show you what happens when you try to go on someone who's in position. So first I got blocked by Behemoth Fissure, and then when I try to go on Torturer, he just easily moves back, and I can't really chase, because if I do, then like Puppet actually hit him with a disable here, but I couldn't chase because if I did, then I would be tanking tower, and that's going to become quickly an unfavorable fight. So how do you solve this when your lane is pushed? If your lane is pushed, obviously you can't go for them, and then they're going to have an advantage. They're going to gain some kind of advantage in the lane from that. So this doesn't really work for other lanes, but one of the ways to do it is at top lane. If even Hellborn and Legion can both do this, you need to pull this neutral camp. Pulling this camp to your creep wave will basically cause your creep wave to engage a neutral camp instead of the enemy creeps, which will allow enemy creeps to push up to your tower. So watch as I do that. There's a nice little nook here where you can aggro the creeps from. So I'm going to walk in there and then pull the creeps up to our creep line. Notice the time, you do it about 225 or x25 or 55. If you do it at 55, you'll actually pull and stack this camp again, but doing it at 25 is also fine. So here we pull it, and watch as most of our creeps go to the neutral camp, and their creeps are going to go to our tower. So the lane's going to be pushed again for us. So this is actually the situation that led to the first clip. So you already know what's going to happen after this, so I won't play it again. Okay, so to illustrate how to keep your lane where it is, I'm going to play a clip from the recent KD versus MSI World Cup. Basically you have bot essentially soloing bottom with Panda. They had a tri-lane, but there was only a lonely Pharaoh here, so Voodoo Jester went to gank, and Hellbringer's basically just sitting on Pharaoh. So it's basically just bot along the lane. And to completely deny Pharaoh experience, he needs to keep the lane here, otherwise Pharaoh could just leech well in tower range and they couldn't go on him. But if the lane's here, Pharaoh is too scared to come out. So it's very important for bot to keep the lane right here, otherwise Pharaoh's going to be able to get experience. So let's play this game and put the replay on play and see how he does it. So basically he only goes for last hits, and every time when one of his creeps are like low, him or Fresh Pro playing Hellbringer are going to hit it. So he wants to always hit his creeps when he can, and hit enemy creeps only when they're low. So Generally, you don't want to push your lane. That's basically what you want to do to keep the lane where it is and keep pulling it back. The only thing you need to be wary of is pulling it too far back, because if you pull it into your tower range, then not only is the tower going to make it hard for you to last hit, the tower is also going to be attacking the creeps, which will counter push the lane back out. So that's not what you want to do. You want to start off attacking your own creeps at half though, because because it's a lot easier to push a lane forward than it is to push a lane backwards. The reason for that is that your spells work on enemy creeps, and you can attack enemy creeps at full health, whereas on your own creeps, spells do not work, and you can only attack them when they're at half. So even though the tower was there, since they have such dominant control over this lane, all they really have to do is just keep doing that. Notice how he hits every creep when it's at half, and only hits enemy creeps when they're super low. This may seem a little complicated to someone who's never seen it before, but to an experienced HON player, this basically becomes second nature. I see a lot of people actually make the mistake of attacking their creeps when they shouldn't be, but really it's just that important to deny at half and only get last hits. Watch as Corrupted Disciple is actually going to nuke these creeps and actually force me back. So he's going to deal me quite a bit of damage and push these creeps up to the tower. So it's going to actually kind of hard for me to last hit here. I'm only going to get like maybe 1 or 2 out of like 3 of these creeps, and it's because the tower is so strong, so I need adequate time to set up each creep kill before I get it. But he actually kind of timed that wrong, since he did it not when the rune was going to spawn. So I'm going to push the wave here before the rune spawns. So in middle, you generally want to push the wave before the rune spawns, because you want the wave to be at their tower when there's a rune. Because if the wave's at their tower, then you know where they're going to be. They're going to be at their tower. And to walk to a rune spawn from their tower is actually kind of hard. So there, as you see, I push the wave's at his tower, and now I'm free to go grab the haste rune bottom. So this tactic really only works in middle, because middle lane is so short that, like, if you just push one wave, then oftentimes the creep wave is going to be pushed all the way up. It's going to be all the way up on their tower. Whereas in a side lane, if you nuke the wave here, then it's just going to go all the way over here. And this is not at their tower, and pushing the lane on a side lane doesn't really do anything. So pushing lane in side lane is pretty bad, but in middle, pushing the lane is actually acceptable. So here I was able to push the wave up and grab a haste rune, and since he was at his tower, he's probably too busy trying to last hit to call MIA, so I actually have kind of free reign here going to gank bottom. So I believe from my memory this gank doesn't really work out, but it's mostly because my allies were not really paying attention. See, they're all the way this far back and they had so much notice, so this lane doesn't actually work out. But I mean, this gank doesn't actually work out, but I did have basically a free gank with no MIA call. So in middle, it's actually okay to push the creeps, just as long as you have a reason to do it. And if you have, this really only applies to heroes with nukes, like Hag's Sonar Scream. Like if you're playing Puppet or Arachna, then you generally want to keep the lane not pushed. But with heroes with nukes, it's really easy to just push the wave up to their tower and then grab a rune. So in middle, it's okay to push the wave, whereas in other lanes, it's really not that okay. I guess that does it for this video. Hope you guys are all a little more knowledgeable about lane control now. As always, feel free to check out the forums and post your questions and comments. Once again, this is Yoda from Team Evil Geniuses. Thanks for watching.